It's like, what were you doing with my drapes? The drapes that were hanging in the apartment. I never got the answer to that. Hi, this is Kari from Sky Properties, and today we're going to talk about when or when not to do a major remodel. There are a couple of good reasons to do a major remodel. One would be that your unit is so outdated that it's impossible to rent it. Another reason might be that things inside of it are falling apart or failing and making it so that it's not rentable. Those are two good reasons to do a major remodel. And I think the next question I normally get with that, well, how do you know if it's worth it? I think it depends on what you spend on the remodel and who you get to do it and how fast it's done. All those things need to be factored in. I usually try to factor in that I recoup my money in about 2 years. Although with inflation and the costs of goods going way up, that's not as easy to do anymore. And that time might need to be lengthened. But you want to think about, is this a long-term hold? Is this a short-term hold? And factor that in when deciding whether or not you want to do a major remodel, because it's a lot of work and it costs a lot of money. I'm seeing a major remodel start at $25,000 all the way up to $50,000 or $60,000 right now. So it's a lot of money, it's a lot of expenditure. I have a lot of clients that are giving these buildings, elderly clients, that are actually now planning on giving them to grandchildren instead of children. And so they want to do a lot of work on the buildings now. Well, they can write it off and don't need the money. You also have to think about those types of situations. You want to think about the longevity of the building if that's something that you're planning on passing down to somebody else. When you're ripping it all the way down to just the bare bones and replacing major components, that is a major remodel. So if you're just doing a facelift remodel and you're doing flooring, counters, cabinets, sometimes you have to decide between what you want to do. Of course, you're going to want to do your kitchen first. That's probably that's the main room that people hang in and probably you use the most. So you want nice kitchens. It also makes your unit very marketable. Resurfacing cabinets or maybe just changing the doors. We've gotten pretty creative with ours. We found a place where we could paint the base of our cabinets and just order brand new doors and handles, and they look amazing, and it's a fraction of the cost of putting in new cabinets. Sometimes you can just resurface your sinks. Dark granite is hard to deal with because it makes your kitchen really dark, and people want light and bright, more of an industrial look these days with a homey flair to it, probably just a color on the wall, something like that. But they don't want the darker kitchens, they want the lighter kitchens. You have to factor all of that in. I always like to look at the long-term look of an apartment because you don't want it to go out of style. So I tend to stay towards the classic looks. I don't tend to do the trendy things unless they're fairly inexpensive to do. Paint is one of those things that is very inexpensive to do. So I would say try to think outside of the box and pick and choose things that you can do fairly inexpensive to make your apartment give that wow factor so that it rents quickly and you're happy with the result of your remodel.